Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. We're back and we're talking about the most recent episode of Love is Blind. Now, I just put up a basic synopsis of what went on throughout the entire season, and then I'm clicking through Netflix and I'm like, what? Episode 12? And I click on it and my mind is blown. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about what my theory was before this episode even happened. First of all, I thought Kwame would have said no. And I said if he did say yes, it wouldn't be because he was fully in, but more so because of the pressure of his family and her family and the fact that she's so in it. You can't help but want to be in it too. So there's that. We're gonna wait till their reunion to see how that goes. And then we have Micah and Paul. Now, I thought with Micah and Paul they would be all in just because I never quite saw hesitance in Paul. But I keep forgetting that they're always saying I love you to confuse the audience. But then what really proves their problem is their demeanor, how they act about certain things. I always assumed that they would not be a very good match because they just look like polar opposites to me. And so, but I felt like it would have worked. I felt like they would have said yes to each other for some reason. But apparently, Paul said he just did not find or see the nurturing side of Micah, and he just couldn't picture her being essentially a mother to his children. And in the end, we find out that because I was thinking, oh, maybe he will get around to it later on, but still date her. But it looks as if his intention was never marriage with Micah because he never saw that nurturing side with her. And he said that essentially she was never vulnerable with him. So I should say, he never fully knew, you know. I just feel like with Micah, she just saw something with him, and then for her, maybe she wants marriage and it seemed like a big fairy tale and she wanted that. But I feel like deep down in her heart, she knew it wasn't gonna work, and she knew that Paul would have said no because she actually was like, okay, I want Paul to answer first because I feel like based on what Paul said, she would have gone either way, or she would have been able to like figure out what was the trajectory, because according to what she's saying, it's like she didn't quite know where he was gonna go with it. So she tried to tell him, okay, show me you love me, show me you want to be with me, and I guess he never did that. Ultimately, I feel like they were trying to fit each other into their perfect partners, but it wasn't working. And I feel like it's for the best because whenever you do something like that, it's gonna eventually unravel after all the serotonin and the hype dies down. Is gonna be a disaster. She storms off, starts crying because she knew she was about to really break down. So she storms off before she could really break down. Paul comes following after her. The friend Shelby is like, I wanted this to happen all along. That's crazy considering your friend is literally devastated and in tears. And the best thing you could say is, you're glad that this happened. Obviously, your friend isn't glad that this happened. So I'm so shocked that Micah has friends like these. It's like she is really bad at choosing friends. She typically picks terrible people as friends, i.e., Irina. So it's like, it's either that's the type of person you are, or you, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I feel like when people choose their friends, they choose who essentially they are. It's a reflection of you, so to speak. So for her to keep picking these terrible people as friends, it's like, I just don't know. I can't help but think she's the same way. And you know, the time Shelby was like, I don't think this is the guy for you, and she breaks down and she cries, I thought, wow, this person just can't let her friend be happy. Like, put away your feelings for a sec and think she's happy. Just be happy for her. Like, there's a way to air out your grievances or your hesitations or your worries about a situation to your friend, that would still be able to come across as care. But the way Shelby did it, it came across as, you're gonna be happy and I don't like that, so I want you to not do this. Or maybe she saw something with Paul that Michael should have really taken into consideration, because he didn't end up saying yes. So maybe there was something there that Shelby saw. But for her to kind of gloat about the way things ended, seeing as her friend is devastated, it's crazy to me. And I'm a little bit sad for her mom, because I feel like clearly, based on the way they've spoken, her mom has gone through some near-death experiences, some serious probably illnesses that has almost made it, impossible for her to still be on earth. But for some reason she ended up making it and was able to actually see her daughter actually get married. And so I feel really sad for her mom. But I feel like what Paul was saying was probably true. Maybe they are not good for each other. And yes, Shelby is hurt, but it's probably because she's embarrassed more than anything else. But eventually she'll come to realize that it's probably true and it's the best that they depart. I spent a long time there, didn't I? Anyways, let's move on to the next couple, Brett and Tiffany. Now, in their past in the episode clips, they made it seem as if something Tiffany did is gonna like stop the marriage or cause problems where they're gonna say no to each other or he's gonna say no to her. That's what they made us feel. But then actually it was because his pants was not tailored very well for him, and he was really upset about it, and they had to find a seamstress and she had to alter the pants for him. And I understand where it was coming from, because he's like, this is my day for me to be selfish. This is the time for me to do my absolute best and look my absolute best. And I'm not going to feel any ways about wanting what I want for a time, a day that's only gonna happen once, So I understand where it was coming from. The seamstress opened up the thing, closed it back up, made it a bit more form-fitting, but I still feel like he probably would have wanted it even more fitted than that, especially on the top of his lower body. But anyways, it ended up looking good in the end. They ended up saying yes. We're not surprised, so of course they had to keep us on our toes with them. But throughout the entire season, they've been very consistent about being sure that they found each other. So the ending doesn't surprise me. And Marshall came actually and was there to support Brett. And if we've seen the episode, we know Marshall and Brett are quite close. And anytime Marshall needed advice, he goes to Brett. Anytime Brett needs a bit of advice, he goes to Marshall. So that was a solid friendship right there. And it was good to see him, although he felt kind of sad because his situation fell through. But I believe that it's all for the best, truly. He met the father was like, you could tell the father was hesitant and was like, okay, I guess I'll go along with it. Clearly they've spoken to the daughter already and she seemed very enthusiastic about him and very sure. So he's like, I'm gonna trust my daughter, and I don't know what craziness this is, but I'm gonna support my child. And that's what he did. He even cried when he saw her. That's awesome. Now let's move on to Mr. Zach and Miss Bliss. Now, we saw their ups and downs, their topsy-turvies, everything. It was a bit of a roller coaster. Of course, we know Bliss was chosen second. It's never a good feeling for your ego to know that somebody chose you second after choosing somebody else. It's crazy and it's frustrating and it's annoying to have to think about it. But I feel overall, because she still had strong feelings for him, it kind of surpassed that and that became small, So I'm so happy that they got through all of that. And there was one point where Bliss's mom is on one side, her dad is on the other side, and we clearly see the probable dynamic of what their marriage looked like when they were married, and we completely understand why they're not married now. It's like mom is like, I love you, I'm here for you, and mom is emotional, completely kind of ignoring dad. Dad on the other side is like, make sure you don't settle, you have far way more to offer than him, make sure that he can keep up with you. And it's like you could clearly see that there is a difference here. Mom is all emotion, mom is mushy, mom is a feeling woman, right? Whereas you look at dad is stone cold logic, So no wonder they ended up divorcing. I could see her getting annoyed, and she's probably like, stop telling my daughter this BS. Like, just support your child and shush. That's the look she was giving him. But anyways, it was kind of funny to see their dynamic, and it makes complete sense that they're divorced now. She looks sick of him. She's like, I'm only there for my daughter. Right? It was kind of awkward as well, but I'm happy they were both there holding their child and coming together for their child in the end. So she says yes, Zach says yes, they say yes, and the most tear-jerking moment, because we know Zach's story, we know his mom died, is when they dance to I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Oh my goodness, I couldn't help but cry. And I hate that I'm so emotional, but yes, it was so, I don't know, emotional. And then they used that song to kind of bring all the couples, the successful couples together, and I just cried. It was so emotional for me. Like, I was like, damn, that show. But and they spoke more about the couple, the unsuccessful couple, Micah and Paul, and we see that with Micah, she's like, if it was him, if he said yes, I would have said yes, versus Paul, who was like, I was always gonna say no. I never saw myself marrying her. And that's insane to me. I think what really put the nail in the coffin for him is when he saw her friends. That interaction with her friends, I think it let him know all he needed to know about her. And he was just not interested in being around that type of energy. And I think he probably witnessed a bunch of that from Micah off screen and was like, you know what? This is probably why I choose the type of woman I choose, and ultimately, it's all for the best. I can't wait to hear what happens during the reunion and which couples last and which couples fail. Technically, they've had an entire year to go through ups, downs, come together, like fall apart, everything. So I can't wait to see what happens. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think about episode 12 in the comment section, and see you guys for more in the ranting shop. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.